for action.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Duke Nukem Evermore, a series where I'll be using the solo gameplay rules to the Duke Nukem Tabletop Meltdown role-playing game in order to recreate the story to the ill-fated Duke Nukem Forever.
Much better.
All the gameplay will be done prior to reading and then recorded into my gameplay notebook, of which then I will be sharing with you wonderful people.
Groovy.
The game will be a very organic experience, meaning anything can happen, good or bad, and the fate of the entire universe could lie in the roll of a single die.
No guts, no glory.
A link to the rulebook can be found in the description below, as well as a link to my how to play video, and another for the previous episode, just in case you missed it and you want to get caught up.
Holy cow.
I will also be putting a link for a text-only version of the story in one single juicy Google document. And I will have all the chapters together in one, just in case you'd rather read it than hear it from this one.
Cool.
Lastly, the following content is intended for an adult audience only, because it contains a lot of strong language, a lot of ultra-violence, and plenty of just naughty themes in general. This is Duke Nukem after all, so you've been warned.
Gonna rip 'em a new
Please give
one.
the video a like if you enjoy the experience, and hit that subscribe button if you wish to keep up with Duke Nukem's adventure. So with that, let the games begin!
It's game time.
After a few moments, and plenty of deep drags from a crooked cigar, the elevator reaches the first floor. Finally! Took long enough. Duke stands up as the doors open. As soon as they do, he is bombarded with camera flashes and paparazzi, all of which are speaking at the same time, creating a jumbled mess of voices, a few managing to speak over the loud mass. Duke Nukem, any comments on the dead alien pig that you threw out of the elevator window? And, does this mean we are at war with the invaders? Not to mention, have your actions doomed us all? Can I get a short comment? And on they ramble. Duke scowls and shoves through the cameras, making his way to the entrance, paparazzi hot on his trail. He flings the doors open and looks down at the mangled corpse lying dormant at the bottom of the blood-soaked steps, rainwater mixing into a reddish pool beneath. Wow, I guess pigs really do fly. Shame about the landing. Dark thoughts swim through Duke's mind as he peers upward to the concealed heavens, the dreadful mothership's gloomy greenish glow lighting up the dark, cloudy sky. Here we go again. Right on cue, Duke's cell begins to ring. What in Sam's hell have you done, Duke? You and that bleeding sack of shit over there are all over the news, and the aliens are pissed. The president is doing his damnedest to smooth over the situation, but those alien maggots aren't budging. Duke scrunches his nose. Those slimy bastards will have nothing to do but budge when they try to get my foot out of their asses. Those cockroaches tried to get the jump on me. Fat chance. They never wanted peace, just looking for an easy harvest. The line goes quiet for a moment. All at once, the speaker nearly blows as a barrage of gunfire and screams blast through the city. Graves! Duke shouts, suddenly feeling the ground beneath him begin to quiver. Around him, street debris slowly floats upwards towards the stars. Duke lifts his head to the darkening sky and lays witness to hundreds of alien battleships, fighters, and RPVs oozing like black ichor from the belly of their keeper. An enormous cannon begins telescoping out from the lower backside of the ship, a sinister green eye piercing its gaze down on the city like a vengeful god, demanding sacrifice. A streak of lightning shoots across the sky, and rain grows heavier. Duke glances across the city to the Lady Killer Casino in the distance, and he remembers the Omega Cannon that awaits in its bosom. Shit, I gotta hurry! Duke is cut off as a devastating green laser beam slams into the west side of Vegas, entire skyscrapers being sliced clean in half. Duke sprints down the stairs towards his bike, He rounds the corner just in time to see two assault troopers just about to trash the cruiser. Duke reaches into his jacket with lightning reflexes, and just as quickly sends two bullets shredding into one of the aliens, dealing 19 damage and causing it to crumble to the ground in shock. The second trooper fares a bit better, receiving only 7 damage as the lead tears through its shoulder. The extraterrestrial beast lets out a roar of pain. Nobody fucks with my ride. The alien's good arm shoots up, squeezing the trigger of his blaster, sending a ball of plasma into the car beside Duke. The trooper hunkers down behind the bike for cover. Duke grits his teeth. You little shit! He rushes over to the bike and attempts to catch the trooper with his boot as he throws it over the seat. But the alien jumps back a few paces as the boot nearly skims the creature's face. The alien shoots Duke point blank for 10 damage. Duke winces, then returns the favor, plugging one round into the invader's center mass and another between its eyes, sending chunks of brain matter splattering onto the windows of the nearby cars. Don't lose your head. Another ear-piercing blast is heard, and a green glow illuminates the city. Duke kicks the bike into a rumble and cranks back the throttle, tearing off towards the casino at breakneck speed. Traffic is extremely chaotic, with drivers veering in and out of lanes in an attempt to escape the doomed city. Many cars lay abandoned or in shambles along the road, fires too thick for the rain to extinguish emitting from many of the wreckages. The memory of his infernal nightmare, still vivid in Duke's mind, spews forth before his very eyes. Duke peels past the destruction. A loud horn is blared to his left as a large semi-truck tears through the intersection, heading straight for Duke. Duke swipes to the right, barely in time as the large vehicle screams for him. He makes it a few more yards before another concussive blast rips through Vegas, this time only a few blocks ahead of him. Reaching the destroyed streets, he sees slashed skyscrapers cut at many varying angles, with plasma still glowing along its sliced edges. Large fallen pieces of building and debris lay smashed between the roads, with many dead and wounded littering the burning ruins ahead. Suddenly, the ground shifts, crumbling ahead of Duke as another enormous chunky building slams into the street, crushing all beneath its colossal weight. Duke looks for a way around as he speeds ever closer and spots a slab of concrete angled upwards protruding from the ground ahead. He aims the nose of his bike at the slope and guns the throttle. With a rough jostle, Duke feels his weight shift as he soars into the sky above. Looking down, he sees the apocalyptic landscape recede below, then shortly after, rushing up quickly to meet him. He braces for impact, then slams into the uneven concrete as he lands, taking 20 damage to himself and the bike, and throwing him off the cruiser into the pavement for an additional 11 damage. Rolling to a very uncomfortable stop, Duke groans, then lifts his head to look at the condition of his bike, lying on its side a few yards away. The motorcycle seems to have only taken some external damage, albeit pretty heavy at that, still managing to idle out puffs of exhaust fumes. Jesus! Duke grumbles as he drags himself up to his feet, brushing out the pebbles stuck in his arm. Limping to his bike, he hefts it up and throws himself into the seat with a grimace of pain. As he begins to take off, yet another loud boom is heard, shaking the world around Duke, followed by the ominous green glow. Duke curses as the beam cuts a crude incision from the side of the casino, but is somewhat relieved to see the blast missing the center mass where the cannon is located. Duke continues to weave between traffic and fallen debris as the mothership charges yet another round of devastation. In the sky above, hellfire from EDF gunships and enemy fighters can be heard being exchanged, followed closely by occasional explosions and the whine of engines failing, then plummeting into the dirt below. Some large alien battleships can be seen floating overhead, troops pouring forth into the tall structures abroad, and many RPDs stooping down with small flashes of plasma emitting from their cannons. A few miles from the Lady Killer, Duke sees two lone RPG units speed past, lift off into the sky, then turn around to face him. Duke slides the shotgun from its holster, flipping it up in a well-executed spin that would have impressed the Terminator himself. The ships begin to close in, cannons at the ready. Rapidly speeding beneath them, Duke lifts up the barrel towards the RPG to his left and sends buckshot shredding into its side, dealing a hefty 28 damage. The pilot makes an attempt to steady the ship and successfully does so. Returning fire, the left RPG misses its shots, being way too distracted with maintaining control of the damaged ship. The second RPG fires, this time landing a hit on the bike, causing 16 damage and making it swerve on Duke. The bike begins bellowing out black smoke, and Duke tries to control it, but is violently thrown over the handlebars as the cruiser slams into the back of a turned-over car. Duke takes an initial 7 damage on impact, and an additional 26 damage when he tears across the concrete road. Intense pain shoots through Duke's entire body as he rolls to a rough stop. Duke bites his lip and stumbles back to his feet. Today's just not my fucking day. Glance into the ground, Duke sees his signature sunglasses, shattered to pieces, lying at his feet. The veins in his neck bulge with rage as Duke begins walking in the direction of the RPVs and they turn around in the distance. He swipes a shotgun up from the ground, racks a fresh shell into the chamber, and looks for something to give him a little leverage. He spots the turned over car he hit, along with his smashed up cruiser lying beside him. Those alien bastards are gonna pay for smashing up my ride. Duke rushes behind the car and waits for the RPGs. The ships blast 2 rounds in the underside of the vehicle. Duke boosts himself onto the side of the car, pulls up the barrel of his shotgun, takes steady aim at the wounded RPG as it flies by, and pulls the trigger. The exposed pilot veers to the side, attempting to dodge the projectiles, only to have the right side of his face torn to shreds and his shoulder ripped from its socket. The RPG drops into the streets, slamming into the traffic below in a fiery blaze. Seeing the second ship approaching at low altitude, Duke bends his knees, then springs up just as the RPG flies overhead. He reaches out to catch the ship, but is too slow and swipes nothing but air. The RPG turns around, then speeds back, firing its cannons at Duke, but the hot plasma slams into the car below his feet instead, causing it to teeter. Duke manages to maintain his balance, then crouches low as the ship closes in again, and leaps up. Again the ship flies by, and again his grip misses its mark. Son of a bitch! They make it look so easy in the movies! Duke drops down behind the wrecked car again, as the RPG spins around for another sweep. Plasma slaps into the underside of the turned car, and Duke hears a spilling noise and a waft of gas fumes reaches his nostrils. A small whoosh sound is heard a moment later, and Duke wastes no time as he springs away behind the cover of a nearby dumpster on the sidewalk. The gas touches the fresh burning plasma, and the car erupts with a large boom. Shards of metal and flame shriek through the air just past Duke. Damn, need to find some other way to get to that ship. Duke looks around for a higher point to climb, then sees a fire escape just above him, a few feet overhead the dumpster. Duke waits for the RPG to pass. The ship flies by, apparently having lost sight of him. Duke climbs the dumpster, then jumps onto the ladder and climbs up. The menace makes another round and nearly spots Duke as it does so, but the pilot's eyes pass over his silhouette without notice. Just as the ship flies a few feet from this fire escape, Duke mounts the railing. Geronimo, you ugly son of a bitch! Duke yells, catching the alien pilot off guard and causing him to mistakenly swerve closer to the platform. Duke leaps off the railing and catches onto the side of the RPG. Both Duke and the pilot grapple one another as the ship swerves to the left and right. They wrestle for control, and Duke manages to catch the pig under its armpit. Locking the arms in place, He uses his free hand to latch onto the pig's mohawk and tears him out of the seat, throwing the pig out of the RPG. The beast plummets into the hard ground, receiving 8 damage. The ship violently swerves towards the building on Duke's left as he jumps into the seat and pulls up on the controls with all his might. The ship zooms up and to the right, nicking the belly of the RPG, receiving only a few minor dents and scratches. Duke sighs, reaches his arm out of the side of the captured RPG with a middle finger salute, and then makes haste with the seat. And that concludes episode 2 of Duke Nukem Evermore.
Damn,
Thanks for watching.
good.
If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button below if you're interested in keeping up with Duke Nukem's adventure as it progresses. I should have another video out, maybe sometime next week or so.
Bitchin'.
And yeah, if you would like to start your own Duke Nukem adventure, you'd need but just click on that link down below for the rulebook. I'll be posting it down there, and I also will have my how to play video in case you need to use that. Keep an eye out for the next episode coming up soon.
Who wants
And
some?
remember, always bet on Duke.